All right, my minions, yes, another glorious Monday. I'm sleepy. Sinus has been punching me in the face, and so forgive me. And forgive this bland background here. I'm in the middle of revamping my work area, expanding my training area. There's some good things coming down the pipeline and for the future. So I give myself this deadline, and glorious things are going to happen. Yes. But anyways, for today, I want to talk to you about weakness. This weakness in general. What is weakness? What do you consider weakness to be? And most importantly, what others consider weakness to be. Now, what does that have to do with you? What does what others think weakness to be have to do with you? Well, I'm glad you asked. Take this in consideration. There are many people out there, especially think about tyrants, that believe that, compassion and sentiment and mercy, love, emotions, things of this nature are weaknesses. I disagree. I think emotions are a very beneficial part of life. Most emotions motivate. Women are, generally speaking, inherently more emotionally driven, and that's not a bad thing. Some of the strongest, toughest people I know are women. So it's not a bad thing at all. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to get canceled. But anyways, emotions are good. Emotions, they drive you. Emotions make you aware. Emotions aren't a negative, but we've gotten to this point where there's objective and there's subjective. Subjectively is when you're using your emotions and opinions and stuff like that to drive you, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but remember, there's always an extreme side to everything. But life is balanced. There's logic and reason, and there's also emotion and instinct. So happy balance. But anyways, for me, for instance, anger is an emotion, but I use anger to motivate me. It pushes me, it drives me to do better, to do more, to reach that goal that I need to reach, to prove myself right. But on the flip side of that, what makes it anger and usually a negative emotion, which makes it sometimes a weakness, is acting out of anger. You do sloppy things, you make mistakes, you're clumsy when you act out of anger, and that's like the extreme side of things. So not everything that other people consider to be weakness is a weakness. The point is, do not allow someone else to tell you what weakness is, or that you're weak because of something. What someone else thinks of as a weakness isn't necessarily a weakness, and don't let them take your attributes and turn them into a weakness, turn them into a deficit, turn it into a negative. Pain teaches you what to do and what not to do. Obviously too much pain is a bad thing, but then there's that famous saying, pain is weakness leaving the body. So perspective. It's all about perspective. But weakness, the most important part, like I said, do not let someone else what someone else considers to be a weakness, define what you have as a weakness. Now, on the other hand, learn to identify what your weaknesses are. And what I mean by that is, prime example, fitness. You know, might say your goal is to bench press 100 pounds, you can only bench press 20. Physically, you're weak, but now you've identified that. Now, so these, what you're not so good in, what you're weak in, you can work on and improve and turn those weaknesses into strengths. So weaknesses don't have to remain weaknesses either. So identify what your weaknesses are. Don't just get focused on just your strength and ignore your weaknesses. Your strengths, weaknesses, everything's a balance. There's one side, there's the other. We like to focus and only rely on our strengths only and completely ignore our weaknesses, thinking that there's no way to improve or no way to make them better, and that is not the case. Look for your weaknesses. Look for those shortcomings. Look at those things that you're not so good at, and then once you identify them, now you can push past them and work and improve on them, if that's something you decide you want to do. You know, we work on strengths, we capitalize on strengths, but we work and improve on weaknesses and turn those weaknesses into strengths. Like, you're seriously limited only by your imagination only. So take that into consideration. This is a short one here. I appreciate you being here. All of my subscribers, I can't see all of you because of the privacy settings. Excuse me. But just know I appreciate every single one of you, and the ones that do pop up as a subscriber, I always make sure to thank. So thank you all. I appreciate y'all being here with me. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and like, subscribe, and like, subscribe. Got good things coming down the pipeline. I've got some turning and burning to do the next couple of days to meet this deadline that I'm trying to meet, but it's going to be glorious. So thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, and have a good one. Strengths. Weaknesses.